Speaker of the House today, embattled Speaker Dennis Hastert got a call of support from the president last night. And NBC News has learned the president will be in Illinois next week and has a public event planned with Hastert. The speaker says he will not step down amid allegations that he bungled the investigation into X-rated emails sent to teenage pages by former Congressman Mark Foley. A new Time magazine poll out today shows the scandal hurting Republican re-election prospects. 54% of those surveyed said they would be more likely to vote for the Democratic candidate for Congress. 39% favored the Republican. The same poll found 2/3 of those familiar with the scandal believed the GOP did try to cover it up. Joining me from Washington is MSNBC political analyst Pat Buchanan, and from Pensacola, Florida, I'm joined by Mike Papantonio, radio talk show host with Air America. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for the invitation.
Pat, let's start with you, Pat. These numbers do not look good for Republicans.
Well, they don't look good. This is a scandal of the Republican Party. They control the House. The individual was a Republican congressman. His behavior was disgusting and reprehensible. It apparently goes back into the 1990s, and he is gone, and he ought to be gone. But the question now is, would it be just to bring about the resignation of Denny Hastert if Denny Hastert is telling the truth that he did not find out about these salacious emails until last Friday? I think it would be unjust to force his resignation, and I think the president's done the right thing to stand behind him. I also think it ought to be investigated to determine who knew what, when, and was there any kind of cover-up.
Mike, do you accept Dennis Hastert's explanation of what he knew about the scandal and when he knew it?
Melissa, they're making all the wrong moves. I mean, here you have a party that's morphing into the grand old pedophile party. This is a family values party that's losing control of this spin. Listen to this. Hastert says he doesn't remember last spring meeting with the House Republican campaign chairman, who told him then that they had to do something now because of this child predator talk. Now what we have is this amnesia defense. It never works. Amnesia defense does not work. It didn't work for Rove on the Abramov issue, where he said he didn't know Abramov. Bush said they didn't know Abramov. Then they find out that they met with him 345 times, I mean, where he was at the White House. What we see happening is what I call the George Bush syndrome. That's where you have political candidates asking George Bush, please don't come to my fundraiser because you're going to hurt me. The same thing is unfolding now with Dennis Hastert. This fundraiser that you talked about that's going to take place, it may only be Bush and Hastert there. What's happening is they're losing their base. You have the evangelicals jumping off this grand old pedophile party by the droves. There's been a drop of 20% support of the evangelicals even before this developed, Melissa. We don't even know what the numbers are now, but 20%, they had already lost 20% of that evangelical base. Soccer moms are leaving like a rat on a sinking ship.
Pat, go ahead, jump in. Do you disagree here?
Right, sure, let him go ahead. I can understand now why Air America is going bankrupt. Look, when we talk about the pedophile party, the Speaker of the House, Miss Pelosi, or the would-be Speaker, Miss Pelosi, and Hillary Rodham Clinton have both marched in gay pride parades with pedophiles of the North American Man-Boy Love Association. The Democratic Party is responsible for lowering the age of consent for sex in the District of Columbia to a point where if Mr. Foley took that 16-year-old page to a motel, it would be perfectly legal. This Foley should be out of there. Hold it, you talked your head off.
A lot of people find that incredibly distasteful.
Let me tell you something.
You're going to bring up something that's going to get your guys run out of town in droves. Foley ought to be gone, but you got them all over your party on that hill, and they are sweating
Mike, let me jump
tonight.
in. Mike, let me ask you this, because we're moving in this direction anyway. The Democrats may be getting a bump in the polls in the wake of the Foley scandal, as we just went through those numbers, but should they be capitalizing on this case? I mean, case in point, check out. I want to show you something. Check out this picture the Democrats are sending to supporters. We're going to put it on the screen if we have it. The subject line here reads, "Heck of a job, Brownie." It features Mark Foley, President Bush, and former FEMA Director Mike Brown walking in the wake of Katrina. Democrats, of course, trying to link the president to the Foley scandal, also rekindle memories of Katrina for good measure. Are Democrats, Mike, run the risk of turning voters off?
Melissa, the only thing going for this grand old pedophile party right now is that the Democrats have a propensity to self-destruct. What they'll do, let me tell you what they'll do. They'll go out and hire the same chronic losers that they've hired to advise them what to do here politically, chronic losers that have a history of losing. They'll spin this wrong, and whatever advantage they had, we're going to see it start drifting back because they simply don't know how to capitalize.
You guys are going to come back at the half hour, I know, for more fun here on MSNBC. As always, great to have you both, Pat Buchanan and
you,
also
Melissa.
Mike Papantonio. We'll see you very soon.